In this presentation, I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of remote teaching. I'm remaking this on April 3rd after I've seen what people are doing, so hopefully I can really point you in the best possible direction, having seen what everybody is up to for the past week or so. So to get started, here we go. I'm going to talk to you about how to set up your Google Classroom, and I'll give you some pointers about changes to make if you've already started with your Google Classroom, which by now you have, some ways to make it more uniform and more accessible for your students. I'm going to talk to you very briefly about ways that you can use video to get in touch with your students or to stay connected to your students. And then a little bit more about resources that are available and staying in touch with me. So I'm going to start by taking us to the Google Classroom, which is in the waffle. You can see that I am signed into my nsd42.net account. At this point, I think that's universally understood. And the first class I'm going to take you to is my own distance learning class. And I want to take you up to the settings. When you create your class, you're going to want to go first to the settings. I've used this section as the subheader to talk about where my office hours are, when my office hours are. I saw that from a teacher and thought that was the best idea I'd ever seen. In the stream, you're going to be able to allow your students to create posts and comment on other posts, to only comment on your posts, and no students will create them, or only be able to view them. If you know your students well enough and you trust them, I would encourage you to consider giving the option to comment. You're going to want to lay the ground rules about that, let them know that they need to be respectful. And if any student chooses not to be respectful, you'll be able to mute that student from all future comments, so they will lose that privilege. This is a classroom where everybody in here is a teacher, and I'm the resource, so I have allowed everybody to comment because I don't have any actual children in the room. The next thing I want you to make sure you change is classwork in stream. The default on Google Classroom will be to show condensed notifications. I want you to change it to hiding notifications. When we're using the Google Classroom in a typical day-to-day school plan, you might want to show the notifications. But for the distance learning model, hiding those notifications and having two separate areas where students find either announcements or work is great. So the stream is where they'll find announcements, and the classwork tab is where they will find your work, their work, right? Let me show you what I mean by that. Right here in stream, this is where you can make an announcement. And for my teachers, I've made announcements about videos that I've created and about resources that I've added to the classwork and other things. You might be making an announcement about what kind of work the weekend was, what you expect for the week, when you're planning to host a live lesson, if you're going to do that at all. That is optional. Other things like that. Those are all announcements. Maybe a birthday announcement. Maybe one of your class students has a birthday and you want to announce it and then let the rest of the class comment with happy birthdays, right? The other place where students are going to go is classwork. And what I want to point out here is that this needs to be organized. I have seen a lot of Google classes in the past couple of weeks, and they are all different and they are all overwhelming. I won't say all. Many of them are very overwhelming and they are very hard to navigate. So this one is for teachers and it has a lot of resources, and that's really all it is a bunch of resources. But up at the top is the topic called Week of March 23rd. This is a model. And I'm going to take us into this week, and it has an assignment. This is just an example or a model of what a reading and writing assignment might look like for a whole day. This is enough work for your students, I promise. Okay, so coming back to all topics, to create a new topic, you click on create and then you say topic, and then you should have two types of topics. You should have weekly topics, not daily, weekly. I really prefer weekly. Daily is okay, weekly is better. So for every single week that we're doing remote learning, give it a topic. The only other topic that you really need here is resources. So keep those required daily assignments small or relatively small. And then if there's more things that you would really love your students to have and see, put those in additional resources and make it really abundantly clear that those are optional for kids who are ready to go on to that. So here I'm adding a topic called Week of April 6th. You can organize these just by dragging and dropping them around right here. I want you to see that. I would have them organized by the oldest to newest, so the most recent or upcoming topics are going to be at the top. Now you're going to add work to the topic, right? So for my students, when they come in here right now, this will be completely invisible because students can only see topics with published posts. So today, as I'm making this, it is Friday, and I would be making all my assignments for next week, and I would be scheduling all of them to post on Sunday. Why Sunday? Because that way you're able to check and recheck and make sure everything looks exactly how you want it to look. Give yourself a little window, make sure everything Monday through Friday is in here. And then come Sunday, everything is visible. So a parent or student can see from Sunday what's coming for the whole week. And they can just absorb it and be ready for Monday morning. That's why I would organize it like that. So you will have, at this point, I think we're in week 3 going into week 4. Let me double check. Maybe we're in week 2 going into week 3. Yeah, we're in week 2 going into week 3. So you would have 3 topics up here for the weeks. And if you have old materials, just move them into the weeks when they were required. 3 topics for weeks and a 4th topic for bonus resources. That's kind of what I have in mind for your classroom. If everybody's classroom looks like this, parents are going to be able to navigate each of their child's work, okay? This is ideal for elementary school. When I talk about those assignments under each topic, you're going to have 10 to 15 assignments, right? 5 math assignments, 5 ELA assignments. Yes, ELA, and put the reading, the writing, and the other grammar, usage, mechanics, everything, all under one assignment. If it seems like a lot for a single assignment, assign less, okay? I'm really, really very serious about that. Okay. So if you have 5 ELA lessons or assignments, 5 math assignments, and then 2 to 4, which are social studies and science, you are golden for the week. That is so much work for you to plan. That is plenty of work for you to plan and plenty of work for your students. All right, so I'm coming back here so I can remember where I'm at. That is how I would have you setting up your Google Classroom. This is how you add an assignment. I want to make sure that I show you. We have, when you use this create button, and by the way, the create button is only here when you're on classwork all topics. So if you go into a topic, you won't be able to add things directly. So go up to create, go up to all topics, click on create assignment. An assignment can be a lot of things. A quiz assignment will be a Google form. You won't use that very often. You can use Google Forms often, but you can embed them in any assignment, so you don't really need to do this one. You can create a question, which is just a single question, and students can answer it. Maybe it's your question of the day. Everybody can comment on that. You can create a material. If you're doing that resource page that I mentioned at the bottom of that resource topic, you can use the material. And then the reuse post is when you for example, maybe you and your team, all the 2nd grade teachers in your building, have a dummy classroom where you've planned together. You can reuse a post from any other classroom where you're a teacher, and you can assign it to this group. All right, so the most common, of course, is going to be an assignment. All your assignments should be standard formatted. So this would be for Monday, April 6th, ELA. Actually, I want to show you math, okay? So math. Monday, April 6th, math. I want you to give step-by-step directions. Step 1. Use Zearn. At your pace for 30 minutes. Step 2. complete the worksheet for Module 4, Lesson 11. I'm making this up, of course. Now, if I'm giving them a worksheet that they should have had delivered in their paper and pencil packet, I'm also going to add it as a PDF here. Step 3, do my exit ticket. And step 4, press turn it in. Struggling a little bit here. Now that I've gotten the steps figured out and written out, you add the things in order. So the first thing you would add here would be a link to Zern. The next thing that you would add here would be that PDF file showing that worksheet, if you're able to. The last thing you would add here would be the exit ticket, which lives in your Google Drive. And finally, there's nothing to add for the turn it in. That's a button students will see. You click on schedule. That's that little triangle next to the word assign. You have the option to schedule. So you schedule it. It wants to give me Monday, but I want to give them a heads up. So I'm giving it to them on Sunday, so they have all that time. And then I forgot to give it a topic. I'm going to go back in there and show you that while you're creating it, if you're on your game, you can put it right into that topic. I'm giving everything an ungraded status. Okay, that's my opinion. And now schedule. So now it's going to go straight into the week of April 6th. This is still not visible to my students because nothing under this heading of week of April 6th has been published. I would continue filling this out with the activities that I want them to do Monday through Friday in math, Monday through Friday in English languages, and one thing for science and one thing for social studies. Maybe 2, right? And then I have my plans prepared for the week. Now I come back to the stream, and on Monday morning I say make sure that you go into your Google Classwork. Maybe I even make a little video like this one. I say, go to your Google Classroom, find all the activities that are labeled Monday, April 6th. That's your work for the day. I miss you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. And that's really it, okay? That's what I want you to know about Google Classroom. The next thing that I want to cover is showing your face in video. This is optional, okay? Our core expectation in the District of Nashua for the elementary teachers is that you create a Google Classroom and that you work on maintaining that and giving students assignments that are not too much. You'll hear more about that from the administration as time goes on. You've probably already heard about that. This is an extension. This is taking it to the next level, and this is showing your face. And we all know that we miss our students, and I like to believe that our students miss us because we usually do a great job. So giving them a little bit of security by showing your face is not a bad thing. It might be outside your comfort zone. Maybe you're willing to push that comfort zone, and maybe you're not. But if you are, here are some ways that you can do it. You can write or record short personal messages. You can do these on your phone, send them to yourself, and upload them into the stream. A daily short personal message. Hey kids, I miss you. I hope you're doing great. You can record longer lessons. Maybe there's a science project that you were really excited to do with a class and you don't know that everybody has the materials in their home, but you happen to have the right materials in your home. You could just open up your video camera on your laptop, on your phone, have a family member do the video work, and you could do the science experiment for your class, and you can record that and send that out to your students. You can also do longer lessons that you invite the students to. Do not record those. This is inaccurate. Do not ever record something that has students in the room. But you can do longer lessons where you say, okay guys, at 9 a.m. today, we're all going to have a morning circle time, our morning meeting, and I will be reading you a story, and we'll talk about what day it is and what the work is, and that gives them an opportunity to ask questions, get back and forth. That can be facilitated through either Google Hangouts, which is the preferred one for our district, or Zoom, which is also allowed as long as you have the settings appropriately set. You can also use video to schedule meetings with your students. You can pick up your phone and you can call your students and check in on them. That is completely allowed. And you can use it to schedule meetings with students or even with their parents to ask questions. I know for the special ed department, some of them are meeting with students just to provide the services. My own child, not in Nashua, but my own child is having her services through Zoom meetings where she gets to see her teacher and some of her classmates. And that is just fantastic. You have a YouTube account. You might not realize this, but signed into your NSD42 account. If you're already signed into NSD42, as I am, and you click on YouTube, you are signed into your NSD42 YouTube account, and you can create videos in here. So it is loading really slowly as it's doing so many things at the same time, but this is where you create a video. You can upload a video that you've already created, or you can make a video in going live option. Both of those are great. So if you want to explore that, feel free. Once you've put a video on YouTube, you can link to it from your Google Classroom. You could do a lot of things with video, so keep that in mind. What I'm doing right now is called a Screencast, where you can see my video and you can see my screen, and I can walk you through my screen. I can turn off my video as well. I can just show you the video, just show you the screen. Lots of options here. The two main tools that are popular for this, well, the most popular one is Screencastify. I wrote here that it has limitations, but they've actually lifted those limitations. If you want to try out Screencastify, it's right up here. It is an extension for Chrome, so you have to be using Chrome, and it works really well with Google Classroom. You can reach out to me and I will give you information about getting it for free, at least through April 30th at this time, and they may be extending that through the end of the school year. The tool that I use and am currently using is Screencast-O-Matic. It also has limitations. They are not offering everything for free, but their limitation is 15 minutes and some editing, not the full suite of editing. So if your videos are going to be less than 15 minutes, and if you don't feel like you're going to need to do a whole lot of editing, then Screencast-O-Matic might be a good fit for you. Also, if you decide in the future you've learned all these incredible new skills for teaching with your devices, you can do a flipped classroom. Flipped classroom is where you get to be two places at once because you are videoing your lessons and then working in person with students. So to be two places at once, do this. Screencast-O-Matic is my recommendation if you're going to take this to the next level in the future and make the most of it. It is, I want to say, $18 annually. So, little plug there. Reach out to me if you want a discount on that also. Google Meet is the preferred application for meeting with your students. And I'll show you how you can set up a Google Meet. You just click on here, meet.google.com. It is actually that simple. All right. So when you go to start a meeting, you're going to be asked to give it a name. Start a meeting. Come on. Sampling. Click continue. It's going to take you into this join screen. You can join now. You can set up other things. The camera's failed because I'm using it for recording the video already, but it's going to pick up my sound anyway. I click on join now, and I get to copy this joining information and share that in my Google Classroom to invite students to join. All right. If you're doing a small group or one-on-one meeting, when you share that to students, just select the students who you're actually planning to meet with. The meeting nickname can only be used within, anyway, that's Google Meet. I'm not going to show you Google Classroom right now. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I'm not going to show you Zoom right now. I want to show you also that you can set up those meetings using your Google Calendar. That's one of the apps in the waffle. And if you have a meeting with somebody, you just click here, give it a title, put in all the information like usual. You can add a guest, and then for add location or conferencing, you can add conferencing, and that turns it into a Google Meet automatically. And it tells you right now that's up to 250 participants, so that's pretty awesome. I also have the Zoom extension, and that's going to allow me to make it a Zoom meeting. So now that it's a Zoom meeting, it gets confusing because there's too many things going on here. Just a little heads up, that's something to navigate. If you need more help understanding that, just let me know. This is going a lot longer than I expected, so my last word of advice always is just keep it simple. If it seems like it's overwhelming to you, just imagine what it's like to be a third grader. It is overwhelming, so simplify. Start small. Make sure that everyone's able to access those small bite-sized pieces that you're starting with, those smaller lessons. If they're doing well with the little things, and if you're doing well with the little things, step it up. We're working on delivering the district's curriculum. So even though the world of ed tech has expanded its privileges and opened up all sorts of amazing things for the nation's schools that are now closed, have closed our doors and open our virtual doors, you don't have to use everything. It's not all good. And even though a lot of it is good, it's too much. So do not become overwhelmed with all the available resources. Focus on our core things. Focus on Eureka. Focus on mystery science. Focus on your regular instruction for reading. Just focus on the normal things that you would be teaching and then simplify. Please feel free to stay in touch. I'm available. I am working as hard as I can to provide the answers that you need to the questions that you have. Thank you for your time watching this video. I hope you have a beautiful day.